Hi, everybody. Hi, Real Fam. So, I'm here to talk about the situation that's been happening, that's been making social media hot in the past week, maybe a week and a half now. It's been going on for quite a while. And I just thought I would share my thoughts about it all. Please join the conversation. Like, subscribe, share your thoughts. So, I have absolutely no intention to be judgmental. I have no intention to call anybody out. That's not what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to be narrating the story according to what I have seen on social media. And I'm also going to be, in a sense, giving my own thoughts. And also, we could maybe extract some lessons from all parties involved. So please come in, share your thoughts, and I can start now. Is anyone familiar with this story? Does anybody know who Ezra is? So I'm going to put some pictures of Ezra on the screen. That is Ezra Olubi. This is another picture of him. Another picture. Well, he's eccentric, I guess we can say. So basically, I was just chilling. No, I was on my own and I was on social media. I was on social media, I was just scrolling, and then there's this lady that just came out of somewhere. Anyway, let me first of all talk about who Ezra is. And I think it's important to talk about who he is as a person outside of all of this controversy that has come out in the last week, right? Ezra is actually known to be a tech god, in quotes. In fact, his Twitter handle before he deactivated, he went as God. That was his name. Everyone in the tech space have been able to speak on him and how much of a genius he is, how talented he is. So I think it's important to give him his flowers in that regard, right? It does take real talent, it does take real work to even get to this point in the tech industry. It's quite a competitive industry as well. So we have to give him his flowers. So Ezra studied computer science at Babcock University. Early on in his career, he worked in IT administration, web applications and development, right? And even senior tech roles. In 2015, he co-founded Paystack with another man who he went to university with called Shola Akinlade. That is their picture from when they first started. It's an old picture, but it's one of the only few pictures I could find of both of them. So they came together and they co-founded Paystack, right? His name is Shola Akinlade, and on the right here we have Ezra. This has nothing to do with Shola Akinlade, but I just thought it's important to give you a background. So apparently, Paystack's vision was the whole idea of Paystack was to make payments easy for Nigerians, and then later on they ended up expanding to Africa, right? So the idea was to make payments easy within Africa, just like I'll give an example. I don't know if anyone knows Stripe. Stripe is also like fintech across the world. So it was meant to be similar to Stripe, or it is meant to be similar to Stripe, but for Africa, if that makes sense, right? So they came together, and then over time they raised more money, through Visa. Yes, Visa was one of their investors. That's how good these men are, right, at their job. And then later on, 5 years later, in 2020, Paystack was acquired by the same Stripe that we're talking about, that is international and a well-known fintech company. They were acquired for $200 million. A whopping sum of $200 million is what these young men cashed out from Stripe, right? So of course they're a big deal. These were young Nigerian men in Nigeria balling. Of course, it got to the ears of everybody, and by all means, they got their recognition. Anyway, so Ezra is not only known for his tech acumen, right? He's also known for a distinctive personal style. So whenever you see Ezra, he's wearing lipstick, he's painting his nails, and he keeps pushing agendas on social media against traditional gender norms. So that's what Ezra is about. He talks about things that affects women, he talks about equality, he talks about the LGBT community, which he's a part of. And then in 2022, he received a national recognition from the country, which we call Order of the Niger, OON, from Buhari himself. In fact, there's video circulating. I'll see if I can find it, where Buhari was a bit confused because of his looks. His looks obviously are not the usual for a man with red lipstick and long, dark red nails, and the way he dresses. And it was quite a funny reaction at the time, but he actually is. Oh, he would have OON in front of his name. So that's how much recognition that Ezra had gotten. And I believe in 2022, Ezra was 36 years old. So to get that recognition at 36 years old, you know that he is a genius, like people say in the tech community. So I just think it's important to have that, information about him before we get on to the actual issue at hand. But he deserves his flowers for his amazing work. Please join the conversation, like, subscribe, and share. And share, of course, share your thoughts if you know anything about Ezra, or if you know anything about Paystack, or you know anything about the gist that we're about to get into. Anyway, as I was saying, I was chilling one day and then I went on X and I saw this lady whom I had come across her. This is another picture of Ezra, by the way. Like you see, he's very different, for the lack of better words. Anyway, I had come across the lady before because she's known to be a feminist, right? In a Twitter feminist, ex-feminist, like we like to say, social media feminist, right? And I had noticed her. Her name is Max. Apparently, her actual name is Chiamaka, or her birth name, I should say, is Chiamaka. But she also goes as Max and also goes as Maki. So this is her on the screen. This is Max on the screen. I was scrolling through X and then I saw that Max, aka Maki, had dropped a few things, a few statements about calling out Ezra. She was angry. She had a lot to say. Oh my God, Ezra did this, Ezra did that. And then everyone is confused, like, oh, Ezra, the same Ezra we all know that doesn't really disturb anybody. Ezra is in his own little bubble with his, friends that are part of his LGBT community. He doesn't really disturb anybody. Occasionally he comes and he talks about equal rights. He just there hosting his friends to lavish dinners and parties in Lagos. You know how it goes. He's a millionaire after all, so in dollars as well. So of course he can afford these things. And then all of a sudden, she says she's going on Spaces. Anyone that doesn't know what Spaces is, Spaces on X is like how we're live now on YouTube. Yes, so like a live, session on X where people, it's not video, it's audio only. So you can set up the live session and then people join you as either speakers or also what's the word? Contributors, right? Just the way we have panels on here. So she went on Spaces and she started to narrate to the point of even crying about it. So a little bit about Max. On the screen right now, you should see Max, also known as Maki. She's in the middle. On the other one side of her is Ezra, as you can see, and the other side is her wife, and her name is NK. Again, this has nothing directly to do with NK, but she's a part of the story because NK, Max, and Ezra were in a relationship and they form what they call a polycle, right? And I'm going to share my screen for us to see the definition of polycle because it's also quite a new word to me. I only learned this word like two weeks ago. Cool. So as you can see there, the definition of polycle, A polycle is a group of people in a polyamorous relationship or a network of interconnected romantic and actual relationships, right? So it's a group of people that come together, all polyamorous. I don't know if anyone knows what polyamorous means. It basically means people that are in multiple or relationship with multiple people, while all of the members of the relationships are aware. So it's not cheating, in quotes. It is everybody is usually aware of the relationship in a sense. So that is what um that is what a polycle is. Basically, it's a couple of people in a relationship and they're all in an agreement. Cool. So now we go back to Max. So Max came out to say that, you know what, this polycle that I have with Ezra has ended, and it has ended because Ezra is such a terrible person. She came out to say, sorry, also for context, just in case anybody doesn't know, Max and NK, this is both of them. That's Max and her wife. They are Nigerian American. So they have American citizenship. They are Igbo ladies and they live in America. They've lived in America most of their lives, right? So 2021 December was the first time that they visited Nigeria after a long time. And the purpose of the visit was to meet up with Ezra. And that's how they got into the relationship, and the rest is history. Prior to this, Max confessed that she had heard about Ezra on social media, and obviously he was buzzing. He had just made some money and all, and she heard about him, and she targeted him particularly for his success. Can you believe that this lady said this? I heard it with my ears. She targeted him for his success and thought, oh, this would be a good man to get in a relationship with. And my partner and I, since we are part of the LGBT community, this is something that we are into, and it seems like Ezra would be open to that. So she started to farms Ezra. Farmsing in social media language means that she started to deliberately talk to Ezra on social media, comment on his pictures to get his attention, and then they became acquainted. Eventually, they started to talk. She introduced Ezra to her wife, and then eventually they started a relationship. So the relationship kind of started off long distance before they took the move to go to Nigeria for one of the dirty Decembers, and then they now began their proper relationship. Now, in normal Ezra fashion, Ezra went lavish. He looked after them. He made sure they had a good time in Lagos. If you know anything about Lagos, you know that there's going to be enjoyment, the cars, the lavish lifestyle. Apparently, Ezra gave all of that to them, and they were in love. This whole time, Maki did not hesitate, and Ezra as well did not hesitate to um flaunt their relationship, right? Just give me a second. Let me just say hello to my people. Welcome, Zeno. Thank you. Uncle Ben, thank you for being here. Auntie Yunkus, thank you for being here. Misty Cicely, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Sister Sue, for being here. Thank you so much. Yeah, so as I was saying, right? And by the way, this is Recap Central, and I don't exactly have any commitments yet, but I guess as I get along, I'll see how much time that I can put into it, just for little things here and there that the channel doesn't generally cover, right? Due to either disparity in generations or whatever, I will try and cover them. Anyway, back to the story. Sorry for the breaks. Back to the story. So Max and NK, Max's wife, doesn't have as much social media presence, but Max does and Ezra does. That whole time, their relationship was booming. They were putting it in our faces. We're in love. We're a little polycle, blah, blah, blah. Mind you, with the polycle, there was always plans to expand because the polycle does not stop at 3. So if they, along the line, they actually found someone else that they liked to join their little polyamorous relationship, this group, relationship that they call what's it called? That they call polycle. they would easily add this person to it anyway, right? So it did not stop at the three of them. Mind you, these two people, NK and Max, they are legally married, right? Cool. Anyway, so this whole time in the last couple of years, they were there just, putting it in our faces. We're loving each other. They would, Ezra, as you know, Ezra is also quite eccentric in the way that he dresses. So Ezra with his kaftans and his boo-boos, and he would wear those clothes, and they would just pepper, or sometimes they would even wear matching outfits. No wahala, we're watching them. So it turns out that we did not hear from Ezra. Continues to live his life. He would talk about tech. He would, Ezra. If anybody knows Ezra, his social media page doesn't exist anymore, so I can't bring up anything. He talks in a very cryptic way, like he's like, I don't know, but they talk like they're in some weird movie. They talk a bit funny, but anyway, he would talk about tech. He would talk here, talk there. You can tell that he's a smart guy. Anyway, so Ezra was still active on X. Like I said, he went by God. His name was God. We not with a small G, with capital G on X, right? That was his name. But we realized that Max disappeared. Can you imagine? Max was not on X for most of last year and this year. Only for Max to say in her spaces that she disappeared because of the breakup that they went through. And I'm thinking to myself, you're a married woman. Sorry, I don't mean to be judgmental, but why is breakup with the third party hurting you like this? I don't know. It just kind of sounded funny. But it turned out that Max disappeared from social media in an attempt to come back, like she was prepping to ruin Ezra's life. She said it. It's not me that said it. She said that she's a vindictive person, and there was a plan. The plan was, if you ever disrespect her or put her down, she's coming for you. You will regret it. Yes, she tweeted that in 2024 before she disappeared from X. Can you imagine? Obviously, I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what she said. She tweeted that, and I'll see if I can find that as well. And she ran away from X. Actually, let me find it and put it up. So, anyway, so that was what Max said. And then indeed in that X, she said the first thing she said, which if anybody doesn't understand, she was trying to put Ezra against the feminists, or rather the feminists against Ezra. Remember that the biggest support system that Ezra has is the feminist community and the LGBT community, because that is his community. He fights for women's rights. Obviously he's part of the LGBT community. So it just made sense that if she put this community against him, then he's finished. Like, he wouldn't have as much support, right? And of course, we know that when you're dealing with a company as big as Paystack, now acquired by Stripe, if any of these things come out, you're most likely going to lose your job, because these people, they hold these things, they hold all of these allegations in very high regard. You can't be in those situations and work for an international company. We know, right? And that was her goal. And she made this known in 2024. At the time, we did not know what she was talking about in 2024. Only for Max to come out and start talking. She first of all started with one, Ezra sleeps with his subordinates. We were shocked. Subordinates? Okay. So does he sleep with his male subordinates or female subordinates? Because remember, he's not, he's I don't know what's the right term. He's part of the LGBT community, right? So people were a bit confused because we're not exactly sure of his sexuality. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And then she went on going about how she found out this girl in the process outside the subordinates. Her name is Fatima. And then she said in that process, she was a bit disgusted because obviously, if anybody knows anything about feminism or about fighting for equal rights of people, you would know that a lot of times they would say whenever if a man particularly, or even a woman as well, has any sort of sexual relations with your subordinates, is most likely grape, because they cannot properly consent when someone is above them in that situation, right? So that's usually what the community of people that speak against oppression and grape and all would explain to you. So of course, naturally, as a feminist, that's Max, she was disgusted by that because why would you be sleeping with your subordinates? They cannot properly give consent because you are above them in that sense, right? Cool. So that was the point of bringing that out. Exactly. Like Misty says, abuse of authority. Exactly. So that was the point here. So that was what she started with. Everybody was like, oh my God, why would he do that? You know, Ezra is meant to be this person that fights for people's rights, fights for equality, part of the LGBT community. Why would he do that? She went on from that to how he speaks to her terribly, or he used to speak to her terribly while they were in a relationship. And then somehow she said, I'm not jealous of my wife. She said it, she quoted, and I quote her, I'm not jealous of my wife, but he spoke to my wife better than he spoke to me, and he treated my wife NK better than he treated me. So we started to wonder, are you mad that he treated NK better than he treated you? Or are you mad because he's not a good person? Do you understand? Cool. So she went on, she cried about it. Some in the last couple of years as well, she's lost her dad. So she went back to Nigeria to bury her dad. She spoke about how initially during the time of the burial, she spoke about how Ezra was the perfect person for her and how he's been there for her, supported her, all of that. But all of a sudden, when she was calling Ezra out this past week, she said that he was the most horrible person to her during that process, right? Now, I'm not here to knock her feelings, you know, because until Ezra comes out and says otherwise, I can't really speak on that. Do you understand? I can't really speak on that because at the end of the day, a lot of women overcompensate when they're in a relationship, even if the man is treating them terribly. We see this all the time. So they're not always honest with your feelings at the time. So I can't speak on it until further, until we get more information. However, the one thing I'm going to speak on is that Max seems very inconsistent. It seems like it's more about being vindictive. She's vindictive. Like, she's not trying to call Ezra out for his bad doings. She's just trying to pay him back for the breakup. Now, another thing that was found out in this process of her outing Ezra, she said by herself, is that she lends $55,000 from Ezra for her brother's tuition fees. She was going to pay her brother her brother's tuition fees, his postgraduate tuition fees, and Ezra offered her the loan. Ezra offered her this loan far back as 2021, right? And at the time they broke up last year, she had not yet paid back. So that is 3 years later. She hadn't paid back. So we found that out as well. We found out that apparently Ezra, she came out to say Ezra is misogynistic. Ezra speaks down on women. Ezra is not the feminist that he claims to be. And he's using the feminist to kind of like shield himself from his shield should I say himself from the real world for because people would obviously not realize how misogynistic he is if you're always around feminists. Do you understand? So that was the whole idea that he uses feminists and he's all a facade and he's actually a liar. That is what Max also told us. She ended her spaces and we were like, wow, not Ezra. Now, in the process of people wondering what went wrong, they started going through X, right? One thing about social media, and we tell this to people all the time, social media never forgets. Never ever forgets, right? Anything you post, even if you delete it, it can be retrieved. There's a lot of websites out here that once you have someone's username, they will bring out any other previous usernames they've had, any tweets they have deleted, and that's exactly what happened. So, in the process of people wondering where this love went sour, because remember, they used to pepper us back in the day with their matching outfits and their love and their polycule and all of that, right? People were searching, they started searching, and that's how they now fell into all of this Ezra's terrible. Hey, Omo, all of these Ezra's tweets that we were flabbergasted, like, what is Ezra talking about? Before I continue, let me read a few comments. Welcome, Sister Rose. Welcome, Choyin. CC says this topic is so disgusting and everyone involved needs psychiatric help and jail. Sister Maria says he needs prison and to be a ex-offenders register. Also hell. Zeno said they are not told, they are older. What was Zeno talking about there? I already spoke about their age. These are the prostitution in empowering for women feminists. Men cannot be feminists, shaking my head. Men can be, they can support the movement, right? And that's exactly what Ezra was doing. He was using all of these feminists as a shield. So of course, if all your friends are feminists, if all your friends are queer or part of the LGBT community, it's, I guess, in a sense, people will start to feel like you're about that life and you cannot be supporting feminists on that level, right? And then now be misogynistic. It does not make sense. You get? So I guess that was the whole idea. Anyway, so in the process of searching for their love and what went wrong? These people were in love. They were even, peppering us with their love. What went wrong? That's how people now started to come across all of these Ezra's terrible tweets. Guys, the tweets are very, in fact, let me share a few of them with you. I couldn't share all of them because some of them are extreme and we don't want any issues with YouTube. So, anyway, this is one of the tweets that. One second, I have to remove something. Okay, cool. So, this is one of the tweets. So, that Ezra posted or Ezra spoke about. So, Ezra, you can see his name is God. Remember, I was trying to tell you that he goes by God on social media. Exactly. The way social media is, you know how you have a bio and you have your main name. His name is also God there, but we don't have that anymore because in fact, we even thought he deactivated, but no, he deleted. There's a difference between deactivating, because deactivating your account, you can go back and reactivate. When you delete, it's done. Right. So Ezra says, with the way I just looked at this young girl, I hope my daughter doesn't grow a pair of till she turns 18. Those are the kind of things that Ezra was tweeting, right? Again, like I said, I'm making sure that I haven't brought the most explicit of them because, yeah, right? This is another one. I can only share a few, but if you're curious about it, it's all over Instagram, it's all over X, because a lot of them are explicit, right? And I can't share them on here just because we don't want any issues with YouTube. So this is another one. He says, single, taken, and then he ticked, still touching my cats. So it wasn't just actual stuff about children. There's lots about children. There's lots about his friends, also insinuating that he watches his friends when they do things in his house. Like he has cameras up, pretty much. He spoke about giving STDs, even including that incurable STD, the one that starts with H, the incurable one, right? He talked about it and giving it to children. Can you imagine? That's how explicit that this thing is. So again, if you're curious, I'm sure if you go and search on X or search on Instagram or even TikTok, you'll find a few of them. But I don't want to compromise the channel by putting any of those things up at all. But yeah, so that is kind of what happened. And everybody was just dumbfounded. Like, why would Ezra fall in under this category? Like, what the heck is this? Anyway, we went on from that. And then, of course, that now caused a divide. Now, sorry, I missed a backstory. Before this thing happened with Ezra, how did Ezra even come? And that's just to explain to you. If you see the thumbnail, I'll post it on here. You can see that I've put a little, a couple of points. I put feminist, I put betrayal, and I put misery. And the reason I put this is because, or mystery, is because I think that there's a couple of issues here besides the obvious issue of which, by all means, Ezra has to be held accountable. Whether he has to go to jail, whether he has to be on the ex-offenders list, whatever, he must be held accountable. However, anybody that is friends with Max, my God, anybody that is friends with Max, they need to run away. And the problem is, I don't even think they can run away, because either way, Max is coming for you. Because one thing that I've learned from this situation is that Max does not like rejection. She does not take well to rejection at all. She doesn't like rejection. Because what happened? How did this thing start? So she tweeted, right? Remember, she's a feminist, and she tweeted that she's taking her wife's surname. And then her fellow feminist and one of the heads of what they call Feminist Coven on X, Ozzy Tommy. For those that don't know who Ozzy Tommy is one of the top most vocal feminists in Nigeria. And she's also cousins with Adesua Etomi Wellington, Banky W's wife, right? So she's popular, and she even became more popular during their wedding. That is how people started to know her. And then the next thing, she started to grow her platform because, she was active at her cousin's wedding. And then she started to grow a platform. And the next thing, she just switched on us and became this popular feminist, right? I'm not saying she wasn't feminist before she got a platform, but I'm just, putting things to context as to how she became popular. It was from her cousin's wedding that the popularity started. Cool. So that's how Max came and said, oh, she's so excited to be taking her wife's last name, blah, blah, blah. And then Ozzy quoted her tweets with, aren't you a feminist? It's so odd that all of a sudden you're taking your wife's surname. Remember, feminists don't believe in changing surnames, because guess what? It takes your identity away from you if you change your surname when you get married. Remember? Cool. So she quoted that, and then Max goes mad at Ozzy. And she says, Ozzy, how dare you? We are acquainted. We are friends. If you have any issues with me or any corrections, you come to my direct messages. Come to my DM. You have my number. Message me. Why would you correct me publicly? Because when you correct me publicly, you open me up, to these banger boys and all of these opinions that may tear me down, right? So technically, you're setting me up for drags. Do you understand? Thank you. So that's how Max went. Oh, she was not having it. And then Ozzy is there like, girl, relax. We're not friends. And then Max was like, what? We're not friends. Hey, we are definitely friends. And then Max went on a rant. You're not even a true feminist. You're a gossip. You backbite everybody. You do this, you do that, you do that. She kept on going on and on, attacking Ozzy. At some point, even me, that I'm not exactly a fan of theirs, I was like, Max, relax. So you're actually doing too much. What did Ozzy do to you, Gong? Because it did not make sense that she was this mad over a tweet, right? But she wasn't having it. Then I realized what happened. She was mad. Max was mad because she felt like after what happened with Ezra, people were meant to take her side. But it's a thing of, okay, we're all friends. In fact, we were all friends with Ezra before you came into Ezra's life. So what side are we really taking here? What side are we taking? Are we taking your side based off of, your own story? We were not there. There's no evidence. Ezra is this, Ezra is that, So it seemed like she was just mad at everybody that was, all of the feminists in quotes, that were around Ezra. And remember, another delusional thing about feminists, or should I say toxic feminism, is that they believe that women are always right. But let's be honest, women are not always right? And you know that I identify as a feminist, but I can also call out a woman when she's wrong, or at least when I perceive that she's wrong, by my own opinion. Do you understand? But a lot of feminists will say that women can never be wrong. And in every situation, you always blame the man. You understand? So that was Max's annoyance that these women stuck with a man rather than support her. But sis, that's their friend, and there was not enough evidence, right, to show that Ezra was such a terrible person like you painted him. Anyway, we ended with that, and then it turned out that because Ezra was the one that brought Max into that circle of friends, he felt the need to speak to Max about it. Now, we don't know what happened behind the scenes, but my guess is that Ozzy was quite irritated, spoke to Ezra about it, and then Ezra was like, okay, no wahala, I will talk to Max. At this point, Ezra and Max and NK, remember, they've now broken up, right? And oh, by the way, side notes, NK and Max now even have a new man in the picture that is their sperm donor. So apparently, Max is currently pregnant for her wife, or with, I don't know if you say for her wife. I don't know how you say that in LGBT community, but she's pregnant with, she has a baby on the way for her and NK, her wife, but they had a sperm donor that is now brought into the relationship. You see that this their relationship polycle is just complicated. It is well. Anyway, um, so that was just side gist, nothing really to do with this. Just let you know that there's another person in the picture now, and I don't even know his name or anything. He's a mystery man. He's a mystery, but we've just seen him here and there. We've seen like a kind of a mock-up picture of his, but cartoon style. So we don't really know what he looks like, really, per se. Anyway, so Ezra, being the person that brought NK and Max into this into his friends, into his circle of friends, he felt that, the onus was on him to reach out to Max to say, Max, what are you doing to Ozzy? You keep drawing her out on social media, you keep setting her up for drags. What's up? He explained himself, explained his situation, tried to explain all of her, grievances, and tried to sort them out. And quite frankly, I saw that message, that email that Ezra sent to Max. And in my opinion, that email was beautifully written. It didn't have any harsh or heavy energy. He just relayed his thoughts, like someone that, when you talk to your ex and you're trying to be reasonable. That was Ezra, in my opinion, honestly. And somehow he now wrote at the end of the message, what's up with this $55,000 that you're owing me? What's the deal to pay? Are we still going with the original term of payment? So apparently the original term of payments was that she will pay whenever. Relationship things now, because of love, you're blind. They say, oh, they'll just pay me when you have the money. Just pay me when. Ezra, that is meant to be a guru with all of this money, did not think that he made any agreements in place. But that's how love is, whatever. So he mentioned that at the end. And in fact, NK's reply was very disgusting to me. She only replied, I think, noted Ezra to the Oze part. And then the other part, she said she does not have the money, and she's going to pay back in 2027. 2027 is when this woman said she's going to pay $55,000. And I'm thinking, see, it's 2021. You almost owe money on 2027. And the way she said it, as if it's her right. Even when she defended that email, she still said it like, well, I'm not going to be in a haste to pay back an interest-free loan. Why would I do that? That is not smart, right? That's what she told us on the internet. We're like, wow, the audacity. Anyway, Ezra said, no problem. I suppose when you're paying back in 2027, you'll be paying it back as a lump sum. She agreed that she'll be paying back, as 55,000. She'll pay back in the lump sum of $55,000. Not naira, dollars. American dollars. Cool. So that was the agreement. And then we thought everything was okay. In the morning, did Max not wake up and start another one? Hey, this time. So sorry, before I digress, at this time now, we had woken up in the morning and Nigerian Twitter was on fire because of those tweets that I shared. Well, I didn't share most of them, but again, if you're interested in the tweets, even if you Google it, you will find a site to go read all of it. A lot of them are explicit and dirty. We cannot read them on here. Anyway, that was how these tweets were already trending. And then Max had a standing, basically. She was able to say, I told you this guy is a terrible person. He does this, he does that, he does this, he does that, he does that. She was just outing. The next thing, she realized that all of the major feminists, so remember the major feminists are Ozzy, Kikimodi. For those that don't know who Kikimodi is the lady that was responsible for the Sex for Grades BBC documentary. So she's a journalist, right? She's done quite amazing work. And if you remember that BBC show, she's the brain behind it, right? And then the other lady that is top of the feminist coven, like they call it on X, her name is Uloma. So she started to tag them. Of course, we have other feminists, but these are the top three that most people know on X. They are always going at men. Do this, don't do this. Every man desires to buy. Those are, top three feminists on X. On X. So tell me why she tags all of these women and expects that they will start fighting Ezra with her. Remember, they are all Ezra's friends. In fact, there's all sorts of videos and pictures and interactions with them and Ezra on social media, right? Thank you, Zeno. These people are not kids, oh. Ezra is 39 years old. Uloma, I even found out that Uloma is like 40. Like, they're not young, they're not early 20s, they are not even they are late 30s, most of them. They are not children. Ezra is 39 at the moment. So, for those asking about the parents and all, not really. Let me read a few comments before I continue. Sister Marius asked, has anyone reported his tweets to the police? I have no idea the way forward. The only thing that has happened is that Paystack has suspended him. That's the only thing that's happened. Mary says, hi, sis Mary, welcome. Hi, been living under a rock, so don't know these people till now. Just wow. Sis Mario said, queer men can be misogynist, like they are straight brothers, of course. Sis Mario said, I don't think you can read them. I couldn't really find. I just found a few. Mary said, scary world. Missy said, yes, Sue. I hope the cops are already investigating such an allegation against minors. Sister Rose says, but something is weird. Why would someone tweet unacceptable and criminal behavior? Also, Sister Rose, I think it's important to mention that these tweets are 10 years, 12, 11, 12 years old. So I don't think at the time people were as aware as we are about the dangers of social media, if that makes sense. He was just tweeting. In fact, I was trying to like figure out what could be going through his mind. And I remember having a chat with our Uncle Ben earlier, and we're talking about how sometimes people are learners. Sometimes when you're extremely intelligent, or should we say like a nerd in a sense, I don't know if anyone has met like true nerds that are their brains are very, they tend to be learners. They tend to stay by themselves because they don't always feel like they can mix with the rest of the world. So I think sometimes they kind of have an outlet, and it sometimes could end up being weird things like this, especially if their parents are not very present and don't catch it on early. So I have a feeling that this was his outlet and he didn't realize, like most people 10 years ago, what we're reading on social media. Do you know what I mean? Some of us have been lucky that we've always known, first of all, if you're not crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy. If you're not, you're not. Not to call him crazy or anything, but I think at the time we didn't have as much awareness on social media like we do now. Anyway, yes, okay. So Sister Marriott is answering that actually exactly. Thank you. Sister Marriott says rehab. He needs prosecution. Zeno says you're a good storyteller. Thank you, Zeno. These guys don't live in Nigeria today. Sis Mary, Max and the wife, they are Nigerian American, and Ezra actually lives in Nigeria. He lives in Lagos, right? Sejro says, damn the drama. I know that's right. Missy says, feminism doesn't say that women are always right. That is not the true definition of feminism. I agree with you. And then I think Sister Teju is asking, where are the kids' parents? And Zeno is answering that they are not kids. They are not kids. Most of them are in their mid to late 30s and even approaching 40 now. Anyway, back to the story. So Max decided that she's going to pay back the $55,000 whenever she has it in 2027, and she's in no rush because it is what's the word? It is interest free, and it is not smart to pay back. And I'm thinking, if you have such a problem with your ex, is it not better for you to just pay off this loan so that you have no business with them and you can just move on with your life? That's what I would do if I were ever in a situation where I was owing my ex money. I would make it top priority so that I can move on with my life properly. But she doesn't care. Anyway, I guess when she tagged Ozzy, Uloma, and Kiki, they of course did not say anything. Now, when these tweets came out, the whole of social media expected that, listen, you lot are always crucifying men whenever men, do terrible things to women. Now it is Ezra that is a millionaire in dollars, by the way. I need to say that. I need to say that. And he's your friend. You guys are not going to speak about his atrocities. All of the banger boys, like they call them on X. So banger boys are basically misogynistic men, or men that just insult women for no reason, pretty much. A banger boy can just feel like saying, Abby, you are foolish, you are nashawo, for no reason. That's how banger boys on X behave. They say things to women unprovoked. But I guess in a sense, there's kind of like pent up anger from like the whole feminist movement and all, which is crazy to me, but that's by the way. So a few banger boys decided to take it upon themselves, not a few, a lot of banger boys, and a lot of them are very popular. Some of them have 500K followers on X, 1 million followers on X. So sometimes when banger boys come together to start issues, it actually sticks because they have a following, a huge following, most of them. So a bunch of them decided that, listen, we're not having this. Feminists fall out. Why is nobody calling Ezra out, right? And as they should, because if you're going to call men out all the time, then you should keep the same energy even with your millionaire friend. Mind you, this whole time on social media, all sorts of pictures of Ozzy with Ezra. We're seeing that he's buying them iPhones, buying them expensive presents. He buys them presents. Like, again, he's a millionaire, so he just buys them phones, buys them iPads, buys them this and that. He hosts them in this lavish dinners and parties and all that he does, right? So they love him. They love him. Anyway, so banger boys were like, girls, fall out. You need to talk about this man. And of course, a lot of them disappeared. Kiki disappeared temporarily. She locked her ex accounts, but she claims that the reason she did when she came back, because Kiki has now spoken, she claims that she locked her account because she was out on some sort of hiking trip with her family and did not want to be distracted. Anyway, and she also did not have enough access to the internet, because you know how these hiking trips are. You don't really have internet. You're going on, mountains and high points that may not have internet. So Kiki said when she came back, she actually disassociated herself from Ezra. She said she's disappointed. She wants nothing to do with him and she's done. I'm like, I'm not going to lie. I get it for her reputation, because especially because she's a journalist, especially on women's matters. So I understand her plight. I understand why she would want to do that. But I just thought to myself, once you talk to your friend, or I don't know, I just thought it was a bit rushed. But then again, I understand her because reputation over everything, right? So fair enough. So Kiki did that. And then it also turned out that the reason that Max had a lot of vim towards Kiki is because she learned that Ezra gave Kiki $100,000 gifted, not a loan. So imagine you gift me your girlfriend. Sorry, you lend me your girlfriend $55,000, and then you give your mere friend Kiki $100,000 dash, a gift, not a loan. Max was mad all over again. She now started to come for Kiki until Kiki decided to lock her account again and go about her business. We haven't heard from Kiki in a while. I don't know if she's tweeting because I don't follow her, but before Max locked her page, I followed her temporarily. Of course, when this drama is over, I won't follow her because I have no business following her. But I wanted to be locked in her page with her so that I can be seeing the gist live. So I said, no, I'm going to follow you because I have a feeling that you're going to lock your page. And I was right about that, because she has been locking and unlocking. So I'd have been missing gist if I did not follow this woman temporarily. Anyway, so Kiki had disappeared. And then Uloma came out to give her own side of this, whatever, to rebuke and say, she's disappointed, blah, 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 blah. Didn't exactly call Ezra's name. At least Kiki called Ezra's name at least maybe like 6 times throughout her thread. Uloma did not do that. Uloma was just speaking big English. Another thing about feminists is that they can speak English. Their vocabulary no be here. So they were just speaking blowing grammar. It has come to light that this won't happen, that won't happen. I don't stand by this. This is my reputation. But with everything she said everything without really, really holding Ezra accountable. Really, without holding Ezra accountable. That's how The next thing, the thing I noticed about this Max is that when things are not going her way, or when social media is slowing down and not talking about her anymore, she will bring out another angle. That's how the next thing she now decided that it's not working. The banger boys are not mad enough. She now decided that, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to start releasing chats. Oh gosh. This is where I said, this Max is not a good person. Max is a terrible person, guys. This woman started to release chats. Let me even share a few pictures. This is their polycle, by the way. This is, Ezra on the left, Max in the middle, and the wife, NK. And that picture of their polycle, for those that are curious. This is the woman of the hour. The main lady herself, Max. This Max, anyway, Max decided that, oh, this thing is not working anymore. The attention is dying. Mind you, this whole time, like, Max has been, her channel, what's it called, her Twitter, her ex rather, has been growing. She's been getting followers because people like me followed her so that they will lock us inside. But I'm sure she's going to get people that unfollow her eventually when this drama dies down, because I'm definitely going to unfollow her. But I really wanted to be, especially her spaces, because she just wakes up. The other day, she woke up and started crying on her spaces. The reason why this really hurts my feelings is because I found out that my sister is married to her pedo. Right? He's the man that whatever her when she was young, and he still found out later and married her. We're like, Max, are you sure about that story? So your sister's person that when she was a child in Nigeria came back to America and still found her and married her, and your sister married him. This, as in NK, not NK, Max's stories are very, very funny. So that's what she does. She will just wake up in the morning and do random spaces where she will cry for like 5 minutes, then she will leave, and then she will delete the spaces, right? That's what she does. So I was like, no, I have to be there for this drama. Cool. Anyway, so apparently, that's how Max now decided that, no, what am I going to do? I am going to destroy the internet. Now, if anybody was on this live stream earlier when we're talking about Genevieve, do you know that it is Max that set up Genevieve for drags? That's what people don't understand. You're saying that is that Genevieve's tweets. Nah, that's not actually where it started. It's just that Genevieve is in her 40s. The woman does not even know what's going on. She did not know that they already started dragging her small before she came in. It was just a coincidence that she spoke on the wrong thing. And sometimes, I talk about this all the time. This is the importance of having PR and stuff. Because if you had solid PR, they would have told her, don't go and talk. Oh, your name is coming out small here and there. This is not the time to talk. If you want to talk, if you want to do anything, post picture of you looking pretty. If at all you have to do anything on social media. But apparently, Genevieve did not get the memo. Guys, that's how. Remember when I said Max is mad at Ozzy because Ozzy said, we're not friends. Why would I speak to you in your DMs? I can only quote you. After all, I'm not saying anything bad. I'm not going to lie. I guess Max's points. If we're friends like that, you know that if you quote my tweets with certain opinions, you're going to be opening me up for drags. Like, let's be honest as a people, right? There's certain privileges that come with being acquaintances with someone or being friends with someone. I don't expect you to come and drag me on social media. And you know that banger boys are constantly watching feminist page. So if you give them any little, space, they will take advantage of it. So I get Max's point of view. But Ozzy is saying that I don't see you as a friend. So why would I talk to you privately? And then Max decided to prove that. What did Max do? She brought out every chat that she's had with Ozzy over the years. In that chat, Ozzy told her, because remember, Max is not familiar with the Nigerian community. She wasn't familiar until she started dating Ezra because she's American, right? She's American Nigerian. So she only started going back to Lagos from 2021, enjoying Ezra's money and a good time in Lagos. If you know Lagos, you know why she was doing it. Cool. Do you know that this woman decided that she's going to post every single message between her and Ozzy? In that message, there's nobody Ozzy did not talk about. Ozzy spoke about another woman called Mo. Mo is another top feminist in that they are feminist coven as well. Mo has low self-esteem. Mo is always looking for validation. Mo, your paddy, your feminist paddy, you are saying all these things about her. The next thing, Max spoke up, Mozuko, Ozzy also spoke about Toke Makinwa. Toke Makinwa, allegedly, it's not me that said it, that's what Ozzy said. She's the only top runs girl that runs has really worked for her and she has a good life. That's what Ozzy said. So basically, this woman started to bring people in, and then guess what? She now brought Genevieve Naji in, unprovoked. She was just posting names. The same way she posted that Fatima. Now, you've also put Fatima's job at risk because how do we know Paystack now will not sack Fatima for sleeping with his boss? These are the issues. She was just there putting information. Honestly, the next thing we saw Genevieve Naji's name that Genevieve has done lesbianism rights. She has done lesbianism rights, that she's the only person that has done it well. She has had a child from a man. She has dumped men, and now she has a long-term lesbian relationship. She has a long-term, she's in a long-term relationship with a woman. Please, I have never heard anything like this in my life. Anybody in the comment section, have you heard this before about Genevieve? This was the first time that we saw the chat. The first time we saw the chat. Crazy. Anyway, let me read some comments before I continue so that I can join everybody, get everybody in the conversation. Gino said there are no kids, there are grown adults. Absolutely. Missy said banger boys. Abby, this is hilarious. Yes, scary at the same time. Sister Cheju says that X must be very toxic. Oh, very toxic site, but it's very quick with information. So I don't talk on that side though, because I don't want any agenda. I don't want anybody to drag me. They are very toxic. The kind of sites where you don't agree with someone's opinion, they will look for your job, they will call your job, lie against you. You know, they go extreme when they start with their nonsense. Sister Maria says, are the feminists also just finding out he was sleeping with his employees? Sister Mario, this is what Max is fighting for. Max is saying that they knew, they've always known, but they've been covering Ezra, and that's why she started calling them out, right? Missy said, "Oh my God, Abby, haha, you want Kiki to lock you inside her?" Yes, so yeah, Max has to lock me inside her page. Sister Mario said, "Max is a dummy, sleeping with a millionaire and getting loans instead of gifts." Sister Marriott, if we talk now, and they will say that we talked. Sino said, please be distinguishing the group of feminists. I explained on the earlier show that just like anything else, like Christianity and all, there's always going to be extremists, right? So Missy said, Abby, don't leave the page, oh. Stay there. We want gist that you are privy to. I won't leave until the drama is over. Abby, I hope you started the show today with a huge disclaimer. We only have millions of there. Especially me that I'm using my real name on social media. Allegedly, Misty, please help me before they come and sue your baby girl. M. Jones says, hello, real fam. I didn't know about these people, Max, before the saga, but it sounds like a hot mess. Says M. Jones. It's honestly a hot mess. UB, please don't be here. You can't be hearing this. Ha ha ha. Tony said, yes, old news. Anyway, that's how this thing has turned out. And then she now started outing people, and different names were there, even names that we're not really familiar with, are not big celebrities, but maybe they are like prominent people within the social media, whatever. Oh yeah, so Tony, yes. So apparently, what's her name? Max actually spoke to the Fatima lady and said, oh, by the way, was this consensual, or did he force himself on you, blah blah blah. And she actually said it was consensual. But you know, Tony, that regardless of if it's consensual with your boss, there's still like a consent issue because of sister Misty actually mentioned it because she's a lawyer and she used the right term earlier in the chat, if I can find it, is abuse of authority. So either way, consent can be murky waters. You understand? So either way, feminists, you're supposed to be about that. If you say you're a feminist, actually, since they are mostly toxic, you have to hold him accountable for even this abuse of authority. Because that's what if it was somebody else that did it, you know that these feminists will not have it at all. They won't have it at all. So again, this is Max and her wife, NK, right? Yeah, so Anyway, I have a few videos to play just for like people's reactions. So that will be the next segment. And then the last segments will just be lessons, right? Because for me personally, I'm not going to lie, I am scared of Max. I think I have pretty much touched on every topic, as brief as quickly as I can on this matter. Oh, I forgot to say that. And again, because things are slowing down, guess what Max did again this morning? Max came and said, "Oh, sorry, yesterday morning. Oh, I forgot to say that there's also subtle issues with physical violence." We say, Max, Zukwanike, Max, rest. Which one is subtle? Is it physical violence or is it not physical violence? What is subtle? Subtle violence. Is it a I don't know, finger that he used to hit you? Is that subtle, or did you point or this? So I just feel like every time she feels like it's dying down and people are forgetting about it, because that's one thing about Nigerian Twitter or Nigerian X. When something else comes out tomorrow, now people forget this Ezra mess. And the thing about Ezra is that if Ezra is a genius, like most people say, there's a very high chance that he's going to do another thing. Is he not the same tech genius they say he is? Does he even really need Paystack anymore? No, he may not. He sold it. Most tech bros, when they sell, they start another thing. So before you know it, before Christmas, we're going to move on. We're going to move on. And in fact, what I want to say before I play the videos is that if I were NK, Max's wife, I'll be sleeping with one eye open. Max is very dangerous, very vindictive. Anyway, I'm going to play the videos and I'm going to put the link in the chat for anyone that wants to come in, just for us to extract lessons. Not You don't really have to talk about the story if you don't know about it, but just what lessons have we learned from using social media dangerously or inappropriately to being like Max. Is Max wrong? Is Max right? Actually, I'm also going to do a quick um banner as well for us to take a poll about Max's behavior, Max's part in this. So, is Max right or wrong? It'll be 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for maybe, or neither here nor there, or both as well. Sorry, everyone, I'm back. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, I was saying that. Sorry, I'm sorry. I was saying that I want to share a few videos of people's thoughts on this matter.
Our female children are safe on this earth. For a man, whether these tweets are from 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 100 years ago, I don't give a damn. For a man to tweet these disturbing tweets and he's still roaming freely. Fear will not let me post the screenshots of those tweets, but all you have to do is go on Twitter, go on X, type in his name, and you will see all the proof there. But I'll give you a little context. There was two that was very disturbing. Number one, he heard that children cures HIV. If you are positive, go and find your neighbor's daughter. I'll be your neighbor's daughter is not looking too bad today. Number two, the way I just looked at this young girl, I hope my daughter does not grow boobs until she turns 18.
Crazy.
This guy's walking around and roaming freely to the point that he was even able to co-found Paystack, build an empire, and become a millionaire. Y'all don't do enough background checks for me. Seeing him deactivating his Twitter is not enough. He needs to be brought in for questioning. They need to check his files. They need to check his background. Any minor that has been in contact with this dark soul needs to be questioned. They need to be checked.
I agree.
His brother's kids, his sister's kids, whatever minor, pets, animals, no, 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 no.
Wow. See, things are really happening. I have more videos. Isn't that one? I really like this breakdown because he spoke about
has
everything.
been suspended from his job as Chief Technology Officer. For most of you who do not know what exactly is currently going on, Ezra Olubi is a tech founder, co-founder of Paystack, a Nigerian tech giant. But he is under a lot of scrutiny right now, getting a lot of hits and backlash from posts that he made years ago. And these posts are dirty, they are vile, they are dark, and they are disturbing. These Twitter posts centers around a lot of things that will make your body feel very irritated and disgusted. I have seen a lot of these posts, and most of them center around things like SM and SH on and off the workplace, sexual exploitation, abuse of animals, suggestion and encouragement of child SM, invasion of privacy, suggestion and encouragement of forceful entry, organizing orgies with feminists, knowingly spreading infectious diseases like HIV and Hep B. And the big one that is trying to steal the show now is deceit, pretending to be queer, LGBTQ advocate, just to lure feminists and take advantage of them.
Is systematically misogynistic. He is curating a fake life to lure women in so that he can systematically abuse them and get them and subject them to being, oh my God, wow, him, speaking of him so highly. And I think he's done this to a lot of women. I think he has.
But what exactly do I think is going on here? Let me try and paint a picture for you based off of the few posts and tweets that I have gathered. The next person that is going to come under my post and ask me why I am laughing or what exactly is funny, me and you could get serious problem. Next post. When I saw this one, I was like, this guy don't mental. One day will be more fun with an A in it. I was like, what is this guy trying to say? Until I now read the following part. Touch a co-worker today inappropriately. Because at the end of the day, there were some of those posts that I found funny. I laughed about it because as an adult, when somebody touches you inappropriately at the workplace, you go tear and better slap, then go ahead and report him to HR, Abby. Even while this looks very serious, let me not even try to downplay anything. It is very serious. So regardless of how it looks, I honestly think that this was just posts that were made out of sheer stupidity, right? Posts that were made all in the name of catching crews. While this might be his thoughts at the time, right? Because when somebody tells you who they are, I am inclined to believe them. I was talking to my friend this morning and he says, if you tell him, say, you will kill him. Even if not play you, they play. He will just believe you and stay far away from you. So in as much as I agree that these posts are dark, vile, misogynistic, very disturbing, I still believe that these posts were made in ignorance. And for somebody who is a tech founder, somebody who knows, who is fully aware of how the internet works, to make posts like this on Twitter is actually laughable to me. So if you think I am laughing at the posts that were made, then think again. I am just laughing at the stupidity of some of the posts, because honestly, who has a fetish, or who needs an audio recorder to listen to the sound of somebody peeing? If you walk into my bathroom now, even from where I am sitting, I would hear the sound of the pee hitting the water in the toilet. So you can see how, in as much as these posts are implicating, none of them is proof that he is guilty of the things that he has implicated himself for. So unless there is somebody who is coming out publicly or privately or suing him, then I don't think there is an offense yet. But you will be well within your rights to stay away from somebody like this. Most of these posts were made way back in 2009, 2011, and 2012. I don't believe, for one, that at the time this guy was clearly, he was still an employee. Paystack did not exist at this time, right? So he was still working for a company as an employee. So he was.
Everyone, remember that. Remember that I said that he won national awards, right? And Buhari had to present him with the award. This was Buhari's Buhari's reaction to his dressing.
And then we have Samuel Aboyeji.
Let me restart. Look at Buhari's face, everybody.
And then we have Samuel Aboyeji.
Oh my God. Very funny. I'm going to play it one last time. Just look at Buhari's face. Is this a man or a woman?
And then we have Samuel Aboyeji.
We thank God that we did not even hear what Buhari had going on. Imagine Buhari actually opened his mouth to say, sorry, are you a man or are you a woman? Very funny. Okay, I have this other video as well.
Olubi, the co-founder and chief technology officer of Nigerian Fintech company Paystack, has come under intense scrutiny on X after his ex-partner, Max Obaye, made allegations of emotional manipulation against the tech executive, claiming he faked his sexual orientation during their relationship. The allegations quickly gained traction online, leading to the resurfacing of Olubi's old tweets from 2009 to 2013. The posts, which contained inappropriate content, including jokes about pedophilia and misogynistic remarks, drew widespread condemnation across social media, leading to the tech billionaire deactivating his X account. In one of his tweets, he pointedly encouraged child rape, and he wrote on X, "On a lighter note, I hear sex with a minor cures."
Ha! Their English is strong on this channel. Oh. Let me play another one.
If you see someone like Paystack guy or them Patricia people, you will say, oh, these ones are tech bros. So if you want your son to go and learn tech, oh, mentor my son, teach my son. Do you know that even this silly Ezra guy, Ezra, he has talked about crushing on a male colleague or something like, oh my God. If animal rights people no pursue am, human rights people no pursue am, children rights people no pursue am. In fact, all the organizations need to sue that guy. Petition now when they see they fly up and down. Petitions. Guys, he tweeted about putting his hands inside the back door of his cat and biting his nails. Tweeted about putting recorder in a women's toilet to judge his female friends by the sound of their urine. Even PDD not do reach this one. He did not do and reach here. PDD will be shocked. PDD will be shocked. So I want to ask, before I play this lady's tape, what do you think is the implication for a matter like this? In your head, if you see someone like Paystack guy or them Patricia people, you will say, oh, these ones are tech bros. So if you want your son to go and learn tech, oh, mentor my son, teach my son. Do you know that even this silly Evra guy, Abina Ezra, he has talked about crushing on a male colleague or something like, oh my God, oh my God. If animal rights people no pursue am, human rights people no pursue am, children rights people no pursue am. In fact, all the organizations need to sue that guy.
Absolutely.
Petition now when they see they fly up and down. Petitions, guys. He tweeted about putting his hands inside the back door of his cat and biting his nails. Tweeted about putting recorder in a women's toilet to judge his female friends by the sound of their urine. Even PDD not do reach this one. He did not do and reach here. PDD will be shocked. PDD will be shocked. So I want to ask before I play this lady's tape, what do you think is the implication for a matter like this?
It is well low. One last video. I usually I will only intend to be here for like an hour, 30 minutes.
Talk about the Nigerian PDD. The man who sleeps with his subordinates, make them sign an NDA. The man who installs an audio recorder in his bathroom just so he could hear the sound of his female friends when they pee.
Wow.
Nigerians woke up today and they said, you know what? We're not choosing peace. Nigerian Twitter is blowing up right now. If you're not on Twitter, you're missing out on a lot. All right? And who is at the center of all this chaos is Israel. If you're Nigerian, you know Paystack. These all started when Israel's girlfriend, well, ex-polycule girlfriend, came on Twitter and she has a lot to say. Like, she's been going around for like 2 days. Okay, now a little bit of backstory. Israel and this girl and then our wife, they entered a polycule relationship. I think some 2-3 years back, they actually came on Twitter and they announced their relationship. It's not really common to see two women dating a guy and then coming online, you know, showing affections in public to announce that yes, we are actually in a polycule relationship. Like, it's not common in Nigerian society, if you know what I'm talking about. Like, we are not that open-minded, we are not that woke. You get what I'm saying? And these two women, they are actually married. Yes, they are married, and they agreed to enter a relationship with this guy. So this was their announcement photograph. All right. Okay, so fast forward to the present. So I guess along the line, the guy broke up with them. According to her, he sent a text message to them that he's no longer interested in the relationship. And she admitted that one of the reasons why she entered the relationship was because of money. Like I said, this guy was a co-founder of Paystack. All right. He has money. He sold his company to, I can't remember, but this is one of the company that he sold the company to. And he got a lot of money out of that. So she admitted that, yeah, the reason why I did this guy was because of his money. She was thinking of leaving corporate America just to be with this guy, all right? And along the line, of course, the guy also loaned her $55K for his brother's tuition fee, okay? So a bone of contention was that the guy was rude to her, the guy was disrespectful, and she also found that the guy was sleeping with his subordinates, okay? And part of the rudeness came from, I think, of course, you're dating someone, sex is bound to happen, they had sex, but he was yet to have sex with the other woman, okay? That's a wife. So when he had sex with her, that was when the whole being rude and being disrespectful started showing. But it was still kind of being nice to the other woman, the wife. So it was like, I mean, if you're not a typical Nigerian man, I mean, that's just the ways of a typical Nigerian man, you know. But let's just put that aside. So eventually they broke up, and I guess she didn't like how everything ended. And she also claimed that this guy set her up at Nigerian airports, MMIA. So while she kept saying a lot of things on Twitter, then people started digging out tweets. Now, before people started digging out tweets, this guy didn't say one word. He didn't reply all the tweets. She has been going on for like 2 days. He didn't say anything. He did not say anything. She went on space twice, and this guy did not even acknowledge everything she has been saying. And mind you, this guy also has this habit of hosting brunch. Okay, these are the brunch pictures he usually hosts. I think every Sunday or thereabout. I don't know how he usually hosts his brunch, but he has a lot of feminists as friends, and apparently they are also on his payroll. Apparently, I don't know. They are also on his payroll, according to what she said, that they're also on his payroll. So when she was calling out this guy, many of them were kind of like, shielding him and kind of like, how do I put it? Like they were the one speaking up for him because he was even saying nothing. Okay, and yesterday was this guy's birthday. Okay, yesterday is it
That's so
yesterday or today?
true.
I think that yesterday or today is this guy's birthday. All right, so
So the second day after this lady, Max, they're calling him out, was his birthday. So people were a bit like, that's a bit mean. Did you plan it in a way where you knew it was his birthday? So, people would drag him on his birthday. So, yeah.
a lot. All right, going on for like 2 days. He didn't say anything. He did not say anything. She went on space twice, and this guy did not even acknowledge everything she has been saying. And mind you, this guy also has this habit of hosting brunch. Okay, these are the brunch pictures he usually hosts. I think every Sunday or thereabout. I don't know how he usually hosts his brunch, but he has a lot of feminists as friends, and apparently they are also on his payroll. Apparently, I don't know. They are also on his payroll, according to what she said, that they're also on his payroll. So when she was calling out this guy, many of them were kind of like, shielding him and kind of like, how do I put it? Like they were the one speaking up for him because he was even saying nothing. Okay, and yesterday was this guy's birthday. Okay, yesterday is it yesterday or today? I think that yesterday or today is this guy's birthday. All right, so the next thing we knew, people started digging out old tweets. These guys, I'm talking about as far back as 2011, 2009, 2012. I'm going to add all the old tweets on my screen so that you can see for yourself. And I mean, this was before this guy even created Paystack. All these tweets he had, this was before he had any money. This was before anybody knew who he was. These were his tweets as far back as 2011. Before he now created Paystack, he rebranded. They started digging out this guy's old tweets. They were excavating his old tweets like archaeologists, looking for dinosaur bones.
Anyway, hey, that's all I have to say. Uncle Ben is here. Hi, Uncle Ben. I'm going to read a few comments and then I'll let you go. Sister Teju says, this guy is mentally unstable. It's so deep, very deep. Sis M. Jones says, Ezra and Max sound like demons. Honestly, they deserve each other. I know that right now it seems like Ezra is the worst. To me, Max is worse. So, to me, Max is worse because at least we can argue that Ezra did not know any better. 10 years ago, he was 29, shao. But we can argue that, I don't know what we can argue. But Max is saying, I'm doing it because I'm vindictive. Max is saying, I was friends with him. I got in a relationship with him because he's rich. Mind you, another side gist, Max was engaged to a doctor, a male doctor, before this her wife. This her current wife, NK, is a doctor in America. She was engaged to a man before, and he was also a doctor. It seems like, and also this her current wife, they said she's from a prominent family in Nigeria, in the East. That family have money. It seems like Max is just going up and down, being a gold digger. Being like, she has this whole thing of, oh, I want to leave corporate America. I want to leave corporate America. Do you know that Max even said that she's been saying on her ex that she can't wait for her wife, NK, feminist though. Feminist is saying that she cannot wait for her wife to make her a kept wife. For those that don't know what kept wife is basically another term for housewife, but the housewife that basically doesn't do anything in the house, but is a housewife. So since when the feminists are advocating for being housewives? Can you see that everybody's confused? Anyway, Auntie Inku says petition will be shelved and not show up anywhere because allegedly some heavy lifters have him covered too. I mean, he's one of Nigeria's youngest millionaires. I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised. Zamara says, we don't care about women, children, animals. What do we care about as a country? We care about Wiki. Auntie Inku says, PDD is an intern next to this one, no, allegedly, allegedly he is. And Sinkus also said this guy and his friends are demons because how in the world? Very disgusting acts. Very, very appalling. And then and Sinkus also says his hard drive will be a crime scene, technically. Geez. Yes, I agree. That's what they need to check. And then Zeno says, you be there from your generation. Zeno, you be is here. Oh. Tread carefully. And then Tamara said, you did what a big comprehensive recap. Thank you so much, sis. I was so nervous. This is my first time doing anything like this. I don't like talking like that on social media by myself. So thank you for that, sis. And then Zeno says she's opportunistic. Max is looking for soft life. Omo, she is. Zeno is replying to Teju. He is quick to call out Gen Z. Sha. Uncle Ben is coming for you, Zeno. I'm not there. Oh. And then Mrs. says there are levels to being a housewife. Honestly, Uncle Ben, thanks for coming, sir. You have the
Thanks for
floor.
having me. Thanks for having me, Abby. First off, I want to give you your flowers. This is really, really good. Recap Central. I love it. Like I said, ladies, you guys have a way of making things look so unique. I don't see this coming at all. So I like it. Recap Central. I like it. Thank you very much, Abby.
Thank you, sir.
I know this is your show, and since you want me to come in now, I hope you're not trying to set me up, Abby, because Zeno
No,
is
I'm
there.
not.
Zeno had been touting me all day. I
I
was
will
trying
block
to avoid that.
Zeno. I will block you. Mind yourself.
don't,
Uncle
don't,
Ben, what
don't
I
just
want you
block
to
her,
do,
ban her.
ban her permanently. I agree. Uncle Ben, what I want you to do is just extract the lessons, right? A few points
Mhm.
here. What Ezra has done, how the internet never forgets. Of course, you know a lot about the internet. You're a media personality yourself, so you can give us tips about how to conduct ourselves on the internet. Secondly, Max. Is Max not scary? Yes, she has outed this terrible guy, but she herself, is she a good person? So those are the major points I feel like we need to talk about, especially when it comes to friendships. Also, third point, the friends that have come out to disassociate themselves publicly, right? Do you think that they've done
Yeah.
this thing or could they have been diplomatic? So those are the three major points I would like you to speak on, sir.
Hmm. Well, wow. I honestly don't want to really comment about this madness they got going because you know my angle, you know how I am with my take.
Mm.
But this is what I see. And please, everybody should just please understand my
Yay,
point
Uncle
of
Ben.
view.
1 second, please. Thank you so much for the
Yeah,
$10, Uncle Ben. I appreciate that a lot.
your
Thank you,
your
sir.
your Bora Bora contribution.
Woo. Thank you, sir. Sorry, go ahead, sir.
So basically, I see all of this differently. I see it from the point of view of a bunch of ignorant people who, as a result of their childhood and background,
Mm,
I think they lost their ways. Okay. I think they
mm,
lost their ways. The lady Max, I know a lot of people are really pissed off with that lady right now. I read a couple of comments when you share them at the backstage, and I went to X. I read a couple of comments and I see how people were coming for her and all of that. But then I've always known this for quite some time now that all these people in the alphabet community, they are worse than
mm,
straight people. Yeah, we just have to call it what it is. We know we don't want to meddle in their affairs. We want to say because it's more or less like they're a protected set of people. But since this is about relationship, we just have to call it out for what it is. The people that I've seen that are very vile, people that are very mean, toxic, and treat each other like a trash once their relationship um, pack up
mm,
is usually people in these communities. So I'm just saying that for just to clear the air that the very thing many of them said they were avoiding in the regular normal relationship that we have between man and woman, they do more, they do worst in their own enclave. So this Marx thing, me, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. These people who are in the community, their own level of jealousy is on another level. That's how crazy it could be. I remember when I was driving Uber, every now and then, when we happen to pick them up, maybe from Gentlemen's Club,
Mm.
sometimes some of them will fight each other till you drop them off.
Wow.
And when you listen to what they are fighting for, you're gonna be shocked. They could be fighting home. How dare you stay too long with that guy? How dare you looking at him? So, but then is their life. So for me, the first lesson is this. While these guys have a great job, great career, a lot of money, why they spend a lot of money to make their relationship appears that is unique, is the best thing, uh, the lesson I can recommend is that please, it's still the same thing. It doesn't matter whether you are with a man, maybe you are a man, you are with a man, or you are a woman, you are with another woman. It's still the same thing. Toxic people are always going to be toxic. It doesn't matter where they are. So I'm not blaming Max too much. Max is just showing her colors for who she is. Now, you know me, Abby, I like to also talk about the man. Now, the man in this case is the extra of a guy. I'm even surprised when I found out that he's actually 39 years old, right?
Yes, he's 39.
Yeah. So I was surprised when I found out he's 39 years old because
Did you think he
just
was younger or older, sir? Just out of
I
curiosity.
thought I thought he's a Gen Z. Make I no lie.
Mm.
Make I no lie. Let me just confess. I thought he was a Gen Z until I discovered he's 39. And then I discovered that he's actually millennial. And
Mm.
like I've always said, millennial and Gen Z. Na age, na it differentiate una small. Una behavior, you almost like the same thing. So anyway, whatever happens to Ezra, I think he brought it upon himself. I don't
Mm.
think he's regretting anything right now because why? First of all, at the time when they sold Paystack for 200 million dollars,
Yeah.
for somebody who resides in Nigeria, you say he lives in Nigeria, right?
We live in
So
Lagos. Yes.
for somebody who lives in Nigeria and having access to that is billionaire status,
Yeah.
right?
Of course, because you're
Having
converting
that,
to naira, spending in naira. Hey.
mm, so having that much money, you already know it's gonna mess up his life. And how did I know that? Look, just like the conversation you and I had earlier, I just wanted to extract the second lesson real quick. You
Mm.
see, many of these tech guys, they started young,
Mm.
and majority of them sometimes they are from rich home. So, and even though people might not agree with this, a lot of these folks from rich home, it doesn't matter whether boy or girl, they have the tendencies to do the most weird thing you can think of.
Mm.
They are the one you might see the son and daughters of poor parents, maybe highest they do hook up, maybe some of them do yahoo. But you see these folks from rich family, the
Mm.
ones that the parent can afford to send them abroad to study, to send them to any school, private school, anything, they are the one with the most stinking, most dirtiest attitude at time. Not all of them, oh,
Mm.
but the few of them that really want to be bad, they are the one that really get bad. Why? Because right from childhood, the money is there. Many of them went to boarding school. Some of them, even if they don't go to boarding school, even from their how do I even say, even from maybe age 5, 6, 7, even from childbirth self, some of them already have access to domestic staff,
Yeah.
the child minders, nannies, and the like. So the bottom line is most rich parents really don't know their children. Just
Mm.
because they come back home, the children are home, looking good, studying, probably on their computer, doing their homework, speak good English, they are good at their maths and the rest. That just assumes, yes, I'm doing a good job. My kids, I brought them up right. So by the time they're gonna go to high school, a lot of parents send their children. That's when some parents send their children abroad, or some will send them to boarding school. After boarding school, they go to private school.
Mm.
They go to private school. So the bond between them and their parent is really not there. Their parents don't really know them. And that means there is a form of emotional negligence on the part of the parent, which sometimes the parents are not aware of developmental characteristics or maybe behavioral patterns in their children. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they just know that my son is doing good. My daughter is fantastic. He's in Covenant University. He's in Bowen. I'm paying 5 million per semester. That's what they know. And these children that were deprived of parental touch, no strong emotional bonding, some of them can't even, they don't really face any challenges of life. Some of them kept everything to themselves.
Mm.
And if they are very smart, many of them that are super, super smart, that are tech savvy, they usually keep to themselves. They keep to themselves a lot. As time goes on, they will start finding themselves out of place. Like maybe they are in school, they want to go to party with their friends. The friends, by the time the friends already know women, already drinking and doing many things, some of these nut guys, they just feel like, I don't think I belong. Some of them will just, they will just go back into their shells. They won't express whatever they are dealing with. And then that's when they will start seeking happiness elsewhere.
Uncle Ben, look at these
Okay?
comments for your reference. Ezra was
Mhm.
brought up in Deeper Life Church, and he claimed it scared him. Just wanted to reference that, just in case you want to add on. Mm.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Church play a role, everything. Like I said, now if he was brought up in a deeper life church, something happened to make him feel that he's scared. You get what I'm saying now?
Mhm.
I'll give you an example. I think I share my experience with Deeper Life and MFM here. Before I end up attending MFM and Deeper Life, I usually feel that, oh, more these two churches to get out and bill until I attended and discovered that no, it's not really the way we look at it. But these are the scary parts of those two churches. I'm sorry for their members. For instance, I noticed the pattern. Deeper Life and MFM, they preach a lot of fear. I'm sorry, even their prayer point. It's all around fear. It's always like there is an enemy coming for you. Somebody is targeting you. Pray, 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 pray.
Mm.
And you can even see grown up, even our papa, mama, now check them. You just pay attention. If you see anybody that is very deep into deeper life around you, they are always suspecting that something wants to happen. It
Mm.
might not be all of them, but many of them have that tendencies. I have some around me myself. They're always suspecting that, it could be enemy. Let's pray. Everything. So that moment when Ezra was attending Deeper Life allegedly, and he started feeling that he's scared, that's where I say the parental bonding is not really present in his life, because that's when, if the parents are observant, that's when he would have opened up to them. But if the parents themselves are deeper life, what do you expect? What is he going to tell them? So you see, he will now kind of recoil back into his shell and try to fit in. And most times, when you see these people that are very quiet, they are brilliant too, extremely brilliant and all that, but they are quiet, they keep to themselves. If you look deeply, you will see how they get excited. They have their own way of getting excited. That's the
Mm.
problem. So I think parents have Parents are responsible for part of what happened to this young man. I'm not trying to defend him for anything, but I just wanted to say a lesson we can extract is that please pay attention to your children, especially when you have a very smart kid. When you have a super, super smart kid who
Mm.
is also an introvert, oh, you got to be extremely attentive and monitor them. And they usually develop their character or personality when they are becoming teenagers from age 11, 12, 13. That's where
Mm.
you have to pay attention to, or else you will see them at home. They are good boy, good girl, decent. Their grade is always A. They are so good, but
Oops.
they are doing something else you are not aware of. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's second lesson I can draw from this. The third lesson I can draw for this is we as a society, we have to look at ourselves in the mirror. We seriously have to look at the mirror and see what we are doing wrong. Ezra got an award from the president. MON, or what did he give, what did he even give himself? One of
OON.
those two. OON, right?
Mhm.
Now, who is researching these folks
Mhm.
when they are up for recognition and award? Because I do believe if you want to give somebody, if you want to confer such honor on somebody, despite their accomplishment, you have to dig into who they are. You are supposed to know them. I think here the is it the CIA or FBI? I think one of these agency, they are usually the one tasked with that responsibility. It's like over here in the US now, there are some government jobs you can't work in because even when you apply or anything, they will dig into you. Not everything where you think say you they hide, they will find it out. People
Hmm.
like the sister Natu, now their handwork will be that. If you think you
Sister
are hiding
Nat-
anything from them, yeah, you think you're hiding anything from them, just be play. So look at him. Fine. Maybe when he went to collect the award with his lipstick and his weird sense of dressing, it really don't matter. That is his unique style and all of that. But how come they haven't discovered all these tweets before then? And that brought me to what Sister Mario said earlier in the comment that in Nigeria, human life, children life, women life, it is almost as if it doesn't matter. Then the life of what is irrelevant is what we are giving credit or focusing on most of the time. So I just want to say the society itself, we have a bigger issue on our hand, especially this I think this sexual orientation thing. I think it's high time they take a stand on it.
Hmm.
It's high time the government take a stand on it in Nigeria. Okay. All
They need
right.
to support.
Now, you say what?
I said currently it seems like it only applies to the poor.
Yeah, yeah. Right now, everything only apply to the poor. The rich people they get away with whatever at any time. All right.
Auntie Nichols
So
has something here for you. Should I read it?
okay, me.
She said, "UB, the question right there is the main question. Who did the research? This is to say, his orientation is against the law of the land. So, how did he get to the president of all people? And,
Exactly.
and also, do you not check that they are meant to be a good representative of the country? Why nobody checked and saw these tweets for him to represent
Nobody.
the OON? So, yeah.
Nobody. You can see that Buhari was shocked.
Yeah. Mr. Marriott also says no background check. Look at
Yeah.
how long ex Harrods owner waited for UK citizenship. The allegations were never revealed to the public. True.
You see.
Yeah.
So these are the issues. So our society, I think we have to take a stand and we have to look at ourselves in the mirror and really at least let's be realistic. Let's get serious for once. Now I have just two more lesson and I'll be done. The next lesson that I can extract from this is also for parents and all of us. Now, this might be controversial, and this is debatable. This is just me being honest. I have this saying that I've used over the years, and I still use it. If he appears weird, there is something weird about him. I
Mm.
used to say it. Yeah, that's before I even started YouTube. Even among my friends, I used to say that a lot. If he or she appears weird, definitely there is something weird about him or her. If she looks weird, if he look weird, something is weird about him or her. Whenever I say that, some friends will push back. They'll be like, no, 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 babe, you can't judge a book by the cover. Sometimes you're gonna have to judge a book by the cover. And this is where I usually differ when it comes to some of these issues. For me, for instance, I've said it here before, I will say it again. Please don't be annoyed. When you see a man clocking 40 and is unmarried,
Mm.
especially Nigeria man, he is 40 and unmarried. He got great job, he's accomplished, he looks good, no health issue or anything, and bro is single. If he had been married before and divorced, it's a different ballgame completely. Because sometimes just one time marriage is enough for you to run away and say, nah, I ain't doing this again. But you have never been married before. And to make matter worse, we can't put our finger on this is who this person is dating. Let's even say you have a girlfriend, a long-time girlfriend that you have come to Lord of the Rings. We understand. But please, when you see a young man at 40, no wife, no kid, every damn thing is wrong about him. I know he's harsh, but let's face reality.
This is coming for
By
you.
yeah, by 40, what should hold you back from being married as an African guy? It should be that maybe in your 30s, in your 35s, you try relationship and they serve you breakfast. And you just like, oh my God, the way this person, I'm not doing again. I get it, I
And that
understand it.
one is lunch and dinner too. If you serve you breakfast in your mid 30s, they've added lunch and dinner. Mm.
So you get what I'm saying right now. Look, I know how this thing. I had my own heartbreak. At what age? I think I should be like around 24, 25 when I experienced my first realistical heartbreak. Since then, I learned my lesson. Since then, I told you guys that is why as I did like this. My madam, I know they take and brag. Say, I know they run after nobody. I did my lane, jeje. Because that feeling is not okay. When they break your heart at times, you go see women like this. You go carry your slippers, take them, begin run. And the
Mm.
same goes for women too. When some of these crazy brothers, when they do you, you will just say, you know what? I can't deal with these mad people again. Let me just do my lane. So I get it. But if as a man, 40, from 35 all the way to 40, no serious relationship. We cannot even pinpoint who you are dating or something. Bro, something is wrong with you. It's
Mm.
not right. Yes, I know it's tough. I know, but it is what it is. So all I'm saying is this. When you see your son, your brother, your nephew, he looks different from the rest of the people. He dressed differently. He do shit differently. And you are saying because he went to school in London, or because he went to one private school, or because he's exposed. That's just his style. You are calling for trouble. By the time you turn around and figure out the reason why this person is acting weird, it would have been too late. And
Mm.
then he might end up becoming an embarrassment to the family. It might end up becoming a complete embarrassment to the family. So that is why I always preach Knit it in the bud the moment you notice something is not right. Many of these things sometimes it start with peer pressure, you know. Sometimes many of these young folks, they just wanted to be different because they just feel like, I see this right here in America a lot. A lot of American teenagers, they just feel like, oh, if I just say I'm different, I belong to this society, people gonna respect me, people gonna You see some of them that are stupid that are male now. The fake one, the stupid dumb one. Sometimes if they attend an event, if you treat them the way you would treat every other person, they pick offense. Ah, you treat me like this, because I'm that. Those are the problem. The people who truly, when they were born, that is how they see themselves, that is their orientation. Those who are really original, I swear to you, you go there with them, say you don't go know.
Hmm.
They don't do anything weird, they dress normal, live normal. You go see them there, you'll be like, whoa, wow. They don't care. If you treat them according to the way you see them, they don't care. They just get about their job. Now those one where won't be one or be now then they was. So please, parents, when you see that this child looks weird, don't let it slide. No,
Hmm.
no, no. Don't let it slide. Don't just say, oh, leave him, That okay, your son just wake up one day, just enter skate. Say they wear skate. Say what happen. No. No, 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 no. Handle that shit right there and there. Okay? No, we got to be candid with ourselves. There is this fashion that they do now here in America where children, especially boys, they do this the most. They will take two pairs of socks. They can wear one white, one black. They still wear blue and red. They say na fashion. I saw my son did that one day. I caught him like, bro, what are you doing? These songs doesn't match. And he's like, Daddy, no. That's how what is raining now, Dad. And they sleep when I just caught a glimpse of it. I jump up with I say, dude, you can wear this. Black socks and white socks. And then now those one when that they pull up, like
Hmm.
that day, time don't they run, they go. I say, okay. Make I decide this thing. Maybe this boy looked us say, oh, dad, you are old school. In go school. Before he come back, I check. I say true. They are even selling some socks like that come in different colors together. But it doesn't sit well with me. When dude come back next day, I turn and say, bro, this is not going to work. Oh. He's still doing it at times, but this time around, if he just watch, you don't see me like this. Especially when he won't go play soccer or something, he go just wear. Still, once he see me, okay, dad, I'm sorry. When I one day I cook my shot and that, but I say, if I see you wear this thing again, whoa, say you be over pamper. I will really be mad with you. Now he stopped. So I'm not saying anything is wrong with that or something, but sometimes peer pressure make them dress and look weird because they just want to feel among, they just want to like belong. So if he looks weird, there is something weird about him. That's the lesson I want to draw from that. Finally, money. Money. Money and women.
Hmm.
Many of these guys who are tech savvy, when they have access to money, automatically they're going to attract a lot of beautiful young ladies. And it's not just them alone, even older men. So far, you are a money bag. There's gonna be a lot of girls around you. So based on this situation, I think it's important we teach our sons earlier in life how to move when they come into money.
Mhm.
Because your money, no matter how you say you did decent rich, Any man wait talk say, oh, me, I don't look at women, I don't look at women. You never get better money, and you are not a very sociable person. If you really owe better money will be say you feel buy Lexus, buy Benz, buy Ferrari for woman. You know, go even be like it go be like say maybe you are just buying a bottle of champagne. You might fall into temptation. So I think in this Ezra case, the money attracted him to these ladies, and he think he's living his best life in that mix up. And the part I don't get is him also claiming he support feminists and all of that. I think it's all messy anyway. So my last lesson is just we have to train our boys on how to handle money. Money attract a whole lot of nonsense.
Hmm.
Sometimes money can even change us. If your money never reach money, now you go say e no go change you. I was thinking one day, say, God, as I dey run up and down like this, Baba help me do miracle. You know how you go daydream at times. Now so I can begin the daydream, say, let's say as I did like this, I just come up with one idea. The idea just blow. I just make like $1 billion. What am I going to do? Okay. For my head, I begin plan. Okay. I think instead of paying tithe, you better make a come and build one beautiful fancy church. Man, just donate and give Christian. Okay. Then I need to have some nightclub. Then I have to like invest in a lot of property for my head, though. I say, okay, the money don't come now. I need to host at least two badass party in a year. Party will be say each one like this. Social media I go ablaze. I did there only me they plan. I can't dey imagine people will go attend that party. All these fine babe. They will file in. We will take jet, fly them in. I'm telling you, I was daydreaming. We take jet, bring them in. That kind party. Of course, I go don't buy house. When we say the house, now ranch it go day. If we day for like 3 acres of land, special customized house, private house. People go come in, they will just chill. Okay, inside that house, go me to I suppose get one private thing. Only me they there. Only me don't do a shower for my head there. Where are they think? Only me don't cheat. Only me don't see say what if I do and finish? Somebody can't catch me. They can't get one picture. They can't say that to my wife. How I go want to defend myself? Oh no 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 no. That I say okay, where money day now. At least if I get money, I will get bodyguards. I will have boys, men that are working for me. They go don't screen any woman we go call. I go say, hey, whoa. So I dey fool myself all this why I say I'm a holy man. So if better money enter my hand, yee. So what I'm saying, Abi, is that sometimes we have to we have to coach our mind though. When money comes, nonsense often follow.
Hmm.
Thank you, Abby.
Thank you, Uncle Ben. Before you go, can I ask you a few questions, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my first question is, do you think that all of the feminists that have come out to disassociate themselves from him publicly,
Mm.
do you think they could have been more diplomatic with their approach since they are friends? I remember all of them have benefited from him financially. They give them
Mm.
money, he buys them expensive presents, In fact, one of them, he gave her 100K, gifted 100K, not alone. That's allegedly the journalist, Kiki Modi. Do you think that because of the friendship they once shared, because of the help he's rendered, do you think they could have been diplomatic?
Mm. Do you want me to tell you
Be
my sincere
honest.
gospel truth, Abby?
Yes. Or do you think that it's good that they decide that my reputation comes first? I don't care. What do you think based off of all of the help he's rendered and
Say
friendship that
nobody will come for me if I talk the truth.
no, but no, in
The
this
way
show
it
we
take dey
don't
my
talk
mind.
publicly. We don't
All
talk
right,
publicly
thank you.
in this particular
Okay,
show.
thank you. You are a great host. I'm ready to be your guest now. If you say I'm protected, let me want Zeno. Make sure no come for me, because I can't even see the chat right now.
Zeno, don't call my uncle. Oh.
So, Abby, the truth of the matter is that all these people that call themselves feminists and they are friends to Ezra,
Mm,
they are actually not feminists.
Mm-hmm.
They are feminists by choice, feminists by what it can
Circumstance.
fetch them.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh. Oh well.
True feminists. Even true feminists wouldn't want to have anything to do with a guy like that, if not for the money he's throwing around. I think the idea just suits them that um you know, oh, Abby, you are a professional in this social media thing now. You know, say
Mm-hmm.
there's something about social media. I don't know, maybe you've heard me say this before. If you go with popular rhetorics that certain set of women likes, your page go quick, you will go grow very very quick, you go get a lot of people will go agree with you.
Mm.
You feel me now?
Yeah.
Mm. So you have a lot of people will go agree with you, so that's what I think they are saying. You know,
Mm.
that moment when there is this widespread awakening that
Mm.
women, especially African women, they have been subjected to all kind of crazy treatment. There is no equality, and the prominent women are speaking up with their message, and the message is resonating with a lot of women. So there are some ladies who came on board later on and start to roll on that wave. They start getting on that wave of, oh, I'm also speaking for the female child. I'll give you an example. Look at this small girl in Nigeria right now. What's her name? Um, Cedar Budge.
Yeah. Say
Have you
that.
ever heard of that girl?
Of course. Say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
If not for the feminist movement, do you think somebody want to listen to someone like Cedar Budge? Tell me
Mm.
her qualification. Tell me her achievement. Tell
Is she a
me.
feminist? I don't know. I don't think she's a feminist. Sha.
No. I'm just painting an example of what's really going on from my own lens.
Okay.
Now, see that boys know that now that women are getting their voice and their voice is being recognized, and a lot of women have really fought for this equity and recognition for women,
Mm.
and people are amplifying it. There are so many other ladies out there that just jump on board that really don't know what exactly this is all about. All they
Mm.
want to do is let me use this to create a platform, and maybe I can also create a name for myself. So many of these folks that hang around this guy Ezra, I don't think they are really feminist as in how feminist you be.
Mm.
I think they are just bunch of propagandists. They are just like, let me just attack. Let me just tell men that men are shit, men you want nothing, without really um hammering on what truly affect women deeply. Some
Mm.
of them will probably go and listen to some reputable feminists and then use the talking point of that feminist to now serve as their own talking point. So them leaving this guy or saying they are protecting their reputation, I am not surprised. Why wouldn't they protect the reputation when it be say alarm don't bust now? But don't get me wrong, they can't go away. Only few, maybe few of them will be the one that will call the guy out. The rest, they will stand by him. Don't be surprised as we are talking right now. Many of them will day in DM. They go they call him, they encourage him. Don't worry, this will pass away. Max is just a crazy bee. Don't worry, we got you. We are with you. And he's in Nigeria. What do you want to do for Nigeria? Nothing. Guy man is probably somewhere now. And you said something very important during your storytelling.
Mm.
And they don't come out from Paystack now. If he don't they start something else already, he doesn't bother him at all.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So for the feminist question, no, they are not leaving him. Only those who seems to be in cahoots with Max, those are the one that may say, no, I call him out, I call him out. This is Nigeria, baby. Nobody is calling shit out. The money they there. $100 million for Nigeria. No, Abby. That's
And
my answer.
that's what he sold for. That's not his current, because he was still working for Paystack until the suspension. So he was getting monthly salary as a CTO.
Right?
CTO,
You
I think,
see?
is chief tech officer. I think that's what CTO means. Let me check. It's not, yeah, CTO in is chief tech officer. So that's what. So for you to even be a CTO, it means that you have to constantly be coming up with ideas, right? It has to keep coming up with
Yeah.
ideas. It has to keep coming up with solutions. Upgrading systems. So that alone, for someone to for Stripe to maintain him as CTO, you just know that he was CTO. I was right. So he was CTO, and I think his co-founder was COO. That's operations, but he was doing that. Yeah. So I was right about his position. So if you're CTO, it means that your brain for Stripe or for a company that is acquired by Stripe, your brain is hot. So it's gonna come up with other stuff. He has time. And he might not even be the face. These days, Uncle Ben, how many businesses people have that you're the face of the business? You don't have to be the face of a business. So
No,
nobody
no.
would know. Do you understand? So he was the
And
CTO.
yeah, and I won't even I'm not gonna surprise if the removal is just on paper too.
Because if they need his brain, then they do,
This
don't
is Nigeria, my dear.
they?
Do
Then
you
the
think those people
company is
don't
no
really know
longer,
what he was doing?
but the company is no longer owned by Nigeria or in Nigeria. It's owned by Stripe now. You know.
That is if they can replace him based on his skills. If they can't replace him based on his, you think so? You both know they do wuru.
Then
My
that's what I'm
dear.
saying. I
Hmm.
think the only reason, if it was a Nigerian company, might not even have done that. But because it's now international, because it's now acquired by Stripe, then of course they had to make that move anyway. But like I said, for someone to be CTO, it means his brain is hot. So they
Yeah.
might not want to get rid of him like that, behind the scenes. You understand? So
Mm-hmm.
everybody else could have been CTO when Stripe acquired them, but they maintained him as CTO.
Well, he's
And I
gonna
wanted
be
to
all right.
confirm if he was CEO or CTO, but yeah, I was right. He was CTO, and his co-founder was maintained COO. That's operations.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Uncle Ben, my last question, sir. Do you think what is your advice towards NK, Max's wife? Because Max has not only proven to us by her actions, but even her words that she's very vindictive, and she has always, just like what you you said the other day on live stream. There's certain people that if you come for them, that is it. Max put out a tweet last year after the breakup to say she's coming. You should give her time. It took Max 1 year to plan this thing. Uncle Ben, do you not think that Max is scary? Max went as far as involving Tokema Kiwa, Genevieve, other people that we don't
Mm-hmm.
see know like that is part of their LGBT community. As in, she went as far as releasing chats just to throw somebody under the bus, forgetting that other people would be affected and will be dragged in the process. She did not care. The other girl, Fatima, that she said she's fighting for, the subordinates that Ezra slept with, she still
Mm-hmm.
her name out. How can you be fighting for someone and bringing her name out for her to be bashed by social media? Uncle Ben, what do you think about Max? Is she not scary? Because she scares me.
Oh, okay. Here's the thing. Remember what I said that when I started as a guest now on your show. Remember what I said that when it comes to relationship, it doesn't matter whether somebody is in same sex or a relationship or not. The way, very good. You know how you ladies will describe some of these our terrible brothers as misogynist. Abi how they call am? Wetin be that time again? It's a misogynist. Abi wetin they call am? Abi
Which one? Misogynist?
misogynist, right?
Mhm.
Just the way you have men misogynist, you also have female misogynist.
Yes, now. Yes. That's
So
internalized misogyny I was talking about earlier. Yes, a lot of women are.
okay,
Yeah, of course.
so it doesn't matter that, oh, because these folks, oh, they are in same-sex marriage, they are treating each other better than how a man would treat a woman. Nah, lie. Character na the same thing. So you see this Max right now. Oh, imagine if she's a man
Oh,
that moves the way she moves now. And I really don't know her, but from everything I've heard about these stories so far, she seems like somebody who would be very good at gaslighting.
oh,
She
of
sounds
course.
like somebody who is kind of allegedly, she sounds like somebody who is jealous. She's not like somebody who feel entitled.
Yes.
Is she not the one that shared a text message and said maybe she wanted to marry somebody for 5 years or six, then have a one
Yeah.
baby and then divorce or something?
The doc in that same text message, the girl in that same text message, she shared the, she
Mm.
was engaged to, I know I said she was engaged to a man that's also a
Mhm.
doctor in America before this her wife, right?
Okay.
In that same message, the same Ozzy, Ozzy really suffered. Ozzy has to deactivate. She also shared, Ozzy confessed to cheating on her husband because Ozzy is now divorced. She confessed to cheating on her
Okay.
husband while in the marriage. This girl posted it.
That is it now. You know, this is what we say all the time that there are some women who are as terrible as some of these Mugopak men that we also have. It's all about character. There is this adage we used to hear when we were growing up. They'll say, Ififiniwa, meaning smoke, meaning character is like a smoke. If you cover it, no matter how you cover it, smoke will definitely come out. So it's just what it is. I think the fact that she's an American. I don't even want people to attach Nigeria to her right now. All the character she displays so far is a typical American way of doing things. I'm sorry, not all American, no. But if you are familiar with some American ladies, when they go crazy like this, that is how they scatter everything. Or what secret, whatever you share with them, they will expose everything because they have one crazy approach, like whatever they can't have, they don't want anybody to have it. And if they build with you and they want to leave, they want to destroy whatever they build with you.
Hmm.
So it's just her American side, her terrible American side, not the great, beautiful, good American. So the terrible, not even American. Some Nigerian ladies say they do this nonsense. How you just see ladies when they say once they broke up with their men, they carry 2 by 2,
They
smash
want
TV,
to ruin
smash cars, smash
everything.
everything. So it's not like maybe American per se. The reason why I'm emphasizing American is like it's normal here. We see it all the time. And these are vicious ladies who are on Twitter. You know how I say it all the time that me, I know they carry my bum go Twitter. I don't even get strength to reach people with they Twitter. It's like those people they know they get work. They
Oh no.
fit drag each other all day long at times. I'm sorry.
They're actually
So
same.
so
Just
as
is
for the partner, all she can do is the same advice that we give everybody. If you find yourself in a toxic relationship, take a walk. That's what I can tell her. Take a walk.
Uncle
Take
Benny.
a walk.
Any
Yeah.
secrets that she has told this lady about her family, anything is going to come out. See,
And
and they said
Abby,
also they said that her family is prominent. Also, another side gist. You know, Ozzy. Ozzy is married to the son of a renowned son. I don't know the surname.
okay.
They said that time Ozzy could not open her allegedly. Ozzy could not open her mouth to talk about the boy because she knew where that is
Is
not work.
is Ozzy not the one Solomon Bushi is dragging?
Yes, so
I
Ozzy is
think one
dragging
of them offended Solomon Bushi real bad. Bushi has been going nasty and crazy on their
those
ass for
women.
like 3 days in a row now.
Those women come for Solomon. Because remember that Solomon is their usual client now. Because Solomon talks funny about women sometimes. Not how Solomon is now. So Solomon is their regular
Okay.
client. So this is his
Oh, they drag him a lot.
yes, this is opportunity to get
Ah,
back at him, as them. So
Solomon Bushi,
he's having a swell time.
Bushi, Bushi. In fact, if you see Bushi video, you will play him. Bushi is throwing upper court, down court, lower court, everything on this lady. Oh.
It's like I'm not
Bushi
even
is
mad. You know that I don't like Bucci normally, but I'm not mad at him for this one. They deserve
ah.
everything that they put him through. It is time to shine. He should continue until
Uh, uh,
he should go
they
for it.
show they show they show Bushi shege.
And they always insult
He-
his wife. Eh? They always
Exactly. So
the wife is this, the wife is that. So he should enjoy himself. I can't even fault him for this one. You should enjoy.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. All right, Abby. I
Thank you
think
so
I've
much
I've
again.
answered your question.
You
All right.
have
Thank
things
you,
for
Nana.
coming up. I'm going to just read comments and I'm going to round up. Thank you everyone for coming to my first solo show. Uncle Ben, thanks for coming up to support me. I was so nervous starting this show. I can't believe I made it.
Of course, you can do it now. You where you they follow me fight.
Yeah, but
Today
it's
alone, now
different
you
when you
you
have
give me
company.
headache, you give me diarrhea. What till you
Ah,
not give me finish today on
Uncle
top one show?
Ben.
Eh? All
Uncle
I say
Ben.
is, okay, oh, Genevieve, oh, Lobaton, you want to tear me apart. Then you now recruit your sister, Misty. Misty now enter the ring. That is not how to fight. You people don't know how to fight fair. Women don't fight fair. But anyway,
Uncle
I
Ben,
trust
don't
you. You
take
can
my
do it,
show
my
to where
dear.
it's not supposed to go, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. See you later, Uncle Ben. So I'm going to read through the comments. Tony TJ, thank you so much for coming today. I hope
Sorry,
you
Abby,
stick
please remove
around.
me from the studio. I don't want to make mistake coming up. Just remove me, please.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, Tony TJ. I hope you stick around. I hope you subscribe and come for other shows that we have. So you're saying if truly the allegations are true, then they all know about it. That's what a lot of people are proposing. Tony also says early Twitter was all about cruising and people were not mindful of what they posted. The more controversial they are, the more it leads to engagement in those days. My question is why now? It's because Max is just vindictive. Like I said, Max has planned this for a year, it seems, from the tweets that resurfaced from 2024. She's planned it for a year. So she was ready. Uncle Ben, thank you again so much for the super sticker. Our Bora Bora funds, we're getting there. Since M. Jones says, Mac's wife better be careful. She will do worse to her wife because when she doesn't get what she wants, she will unleash on her wife. I'm telling you, that's one of my fears. Zeno was agreeing with Uncle Ben when he says they even buy their exes. Um, since MJ says Max is looking for soft life, ultimate soft life, and she's just following what do you call she's following rich people up and down. Such a goal. And it's the fact that she's so calculated. She's calculated everything. Everything. Sister Jumade says, I wish to know his background though. I said it in the beginning. He went to private school, went to Babcock. Um, Actually, I saw something somewhere that said that he was actually quite introverted while he was at uni as well, and while he was younger. So I guess it's not far off from Uncle Ben's idea. You know, Uncle Ben said that a lot of times when people are nerds, they tend to keep to themselves and tend to act very differently. So as a parent, you need to watch out for stuff like that. So hearing that he was quite introverted, it makes sense with Uncle what Uncle Ben was saying as well, but he was probably keeping to himself, and then Twitter and all of these messy things were probably like his outlets, and it's just unfortunate, to be honest. Sister Marriott says being a pervert is now tied to income. I think she was having a go at Uncle Ben. And Sateju also says if he were, he would not be intoxicated with wealth. My take. Sister Seju, there's wealth and there's wealth. You know, so they sold Paystack 2020. So 5 years ago, he was around 34. So at 34, can you really handle 100 million properly in Lagos where you're seen as a king? It's not in America where by the time you buy a house, put the down payment for house, the money has finished, right? In Nigeria, you're earning in dollars but spending in naira. I think you can be with the way Nigerian system is, where they worship money too much. Zeno says, especially us that went to single secondary school. I'm guessing you mean like single sex secondary boarding school. Missy said, I have heard very interesting things about Deeper Life Church, like a sect or cult, like allegedly, don't come for me. I don't know too much about the church, but allegedly, please. M. Jones says, I still don't understand the obsession with boarding school in Nigeria, sending kids away for real as young as age 9. They are not raising their kids, it's other kids doing the job. I agree, it's a dicey topic, to be honest. Is one of those ones where it's worked for some people, it hasn't worked for some people. And Yinku says, but we know the answer. He has money, so why not? Any trash can represent that country, just have money. Absolutely. It's just the fact I don't do their due diligence. Not that he did not deserve it. He's done amazing. Like I said, I started this show, with wanting to give him his flowers and wanting to recognize his good work. I just think is the better way to go about things, because this is not a show to bash him. It's just a show to recap what has happened, pretty much. Zeno says, you people are forgetting where we came from. Did you guys not hear an American company acquired his company? That's all they needed to know. That's probably all they needed to know to give him the ON recognition. Sister Mario says, no background check. Look at how long ex Harrods owner waited for UK citizenship. The allegations were never revealed to the public. You're meant to do your due diligence. Antinku says, Yubi, that question right there is the main question. Who did the research? This is to say his orientation is against the law of the land. So how did he get to the president of all people? Exactly, ma'am. Mario said, I've always agreed with you on that 40 on wed African man with no child is a red flag. Sister Mario, we're actually talking about this on CSC group call the other day. I kind of was a bit worried about that, but a lot of the sisters actually had good points as to why that could be as well. Some men just end up focusing on that things, but yeah. Sis M just is replying, saying they worship money, so if Ezra was abroad, honestly, we will not even know where he will be now. If it quacks like a bird, it is a bird. Clock it. Sis Maria says if he was abroad, UB would have blamed the Western world. He was in Niger, praise be. Thank God. Tony says Mark saw him as her retirement benefits, but it backfired. Absolutely, that girl is such a gold digger. Oh my God. If all was rosy, we would not be having this conversation. Absolutely. Sisteju said, based on a quick Google search I just did, the guy is living a life that is entirely different from his background. He is. In fact, there's other controversial things like, because I know we're Christian here, but there's also other controversial things like him wearing like antichrist jewelry. According to ex people that know about these things, I don't know anything about antichrist or worshiping the devil. So apparently, he does a lot of those practices. He wears a lot of jewelry and stuff that's pertain to those practices like the occult world. And I need to call Uncle Patrick for prayers after this live stream. I'm scared. My sister Marion said, your market don't end be that. These are business people. Absolutely. Toyin says it might have been discussed amongst them to avoid further probing. It's true. I do think that they reached out to him first. All of these their statements is just performative. Shaba Helper said he's a genius, no doubt, but now pure weary. Shaba Helper is confirming that he is the CTO of the company. Or he was. I don't know if to say was or is. He's the now suspended CTO of the company. Yes, I wasn't sure if he was CTO or CEO. So he's CTO and his business partner, co-founder is COO. I read. So he said manipulating. Oh my God, I got more super chat. Thank you, Zeno. I'm so proud of you, Bessie. Thank you, my bestie. And Tough Luck. Oh, thank you so much, sis. Oh my God, sis, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Let me just read the last few comments. Abby, an incredible host. Always delight to hear you speak. Oh, Shopper Helper, thank you so much, sis. Tough Luck is saying, well done, sis. Thank you so much, sis. As Yinkus, you are a powerhouse. Abby, no shaking. We knew you got this in the bag. Well done. Thank you so much, sis. Thank you, everybody. Just to close off, I just remembered something that Uncle Ben said. And Uncle Ben said about basically talking about performative feminism. I agree with that. I even said something on a previous show, and I used Bobrisky as reference where I said I feel like a lot of people in this community, they've now started to see that it gets them attention, it gets them social media recognition, and it gets them money. And I feel like they're all just pretending to be part of the community because it's a kind of like a quick way to fame in a sense, allegedly, and just my own personal opinion. So I would not be surprised if a lot of them all fails and they decide that, okay, I need to be somewhat controversial. What can I do? Because you know what, controversy sells. So I think that is that. Also, from the stories that I've heard, there's only a few of them that actually like married. A lot of the top feminists, like they call them feminist coven on X, a lot of them have had very terrible marriages. Their husband did this and that, whether from DV and all. So I really do think that a lot of them have experiences that have caused them to hate men. but they do not admit it. They see it as more, oh, they've evolved, but a lot of them have had terrible experiences. And I'm not completely mad at them. Sometimes I hear the stories of these Miss Andrews because they're not feminists. And I actually feel bad for them. What do you mean from the age of 10? One uncle did this, one uncle up until the age of 28. Like it just, I can see, I just feel bad for them in a sense, and I can see why they've come to this point. But at the end of the day, the reality is that you're not even helping yourself moving forward being angry, right? It means that there's a lot of trauma, and nobody deserves to live with that much trauma. So it just makes more sense to go about life and actually um go about life the right way and actually heal. I think you'll be much lighter. And even if you decide you never want to associate with men again, no problem. But healing is always the best option. Anyway, thank you so much. I don't have music yet, so maybe by the next show I will. So I'm just going to end the show. Thank you so much for attending. I honestly don't know when my next show would be. I just got on a call with Uncle Ben earlier today, and we talked about it. I've said it here and there that I might do something like this. And he just kind of gave me a little nudge and I took it on. I'm sure he's even surprised I came out today because he probably thought I was going to think about it. But as soon as he said it, I got to work and I decided to do this. So thank you so much, Uncle Ben, for the opportunity and for the push and the encouragement. I know that a lot of people believe that I have I have social media presence already in a sense on Instagram. So it means that I'm always confident to speak. No, pictures is very different from and videos where I put music over them is very different from actually speaking to a live audience. So it's just not the same for me. And funny enough, I do quite a bit of public speaking at work and stuff. So it's not like I'm not a confident person or I don't speak. It's just very different online because I guess you don't really know who's watching you. So, but thank you so much for all of the encouragements to the backstage as well. Auntie Yinku, Sister Sue, Misty, Sissy, everybody. Thank you so much. Uncle Dayo as well was here telling me go and eat and come back out. Everybody on the backstage. Thank you so much for being supportive. Sister Natsu as well. Sister Natsu has been on my neck for this social media thing. Abby, when I come back on TikTok, and when I come back on Instagram, the longer I stay away, the harder it is to come back. I will try. I will give Christmas posts on Instagram and TikTok. I promise. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good night, and I will see you all on the next show. Okay. Bye.